Hi guys, welcome to another review of another eyeshadow palette that's come up. So today I'm going to be talking about the Anastasia Beverly Hills Carli Bybel eyeshadow palette. So I have been a long time fan of the ABH eyeshadow palettes. I think they are priced great. I think the product is amazing. I feel like the quality of the eyeshadows is great. It's affordable and they always have these interesting shades. So I obviously wanted to check this one out and see how it is. So I just picked it up. I just came back from Sephora and I'm so excited to try this. So without further ado, let's talk eyeshadows. So Carli Bybel eyeshadow palette, it comes like this. It's got this cute packaging and there is no velvet like the other Norvina packaging and the Modern Renaissance packaging. It's very nice and when I open this, it's got these 14 shades and the color story is really interesting. I feel like it's just softness that pops up, and it has these interesting shimmery shades. I am really excited to try this one and this one and this one. Like, I'm just so excited to swatch these. I already swatched them a little bit in Sephora, but I just wanted to come home and explore it myself with you guys. So yeah, let's do that. So again, like I always swatch in my other videos, I'm going to be swatching probably the mattes first and then the metallics, and kind of swatch the shades that are kind of close to each other together so you can tell the difference. And while I swatch them, I'm going to be comparing these with the other eyeshadow palettes that I might have and comparable shades. I don't know how much I have, but let's see. And then I'm going to be swatching these on my eyes as well, so you know how they look. So yeah, let's start. So the first one is this Bare shade, and it's this really white, creamy, milky shade. And if I swatch this, so it's a matte shade for transition and I guess for the inner corners. Next, I want to take this peach shade and it's called Cindy. And it looks like this, and the swatch looks like this, and this is going to be such a cute transition shade. Next, I want to swatch Chai, and again this is a very nice soft transition brown shade. That's how it looks. Oh, it's so nice. These shades are so soft. I mean, yeah, I'm loving it already. And then this one's called Bybel. So that's Carli Bybel right there. And it's this taupey gray shade, grayish, pinkish shade. And I feel like this is going to be such an amazing cool toned transition shade. And then I'm going to take this kind of burgundy pink shade. That's how it looks. And this is how it swatches. Now, I'm curious to see how this compares with the Jackie palette pinker shade. And I know I have to review this one as well, and I'm going to get to it. But I want to compare it with this shade right here. So this is how this one looks. And as you can see, this is very purpley pink, and this one's kind of red. So that's the difference. Both are really nice. Next, I'm going to take this brown shade, and this is called Boie, B-O-I-E, and it's this really dark gray, cool toned shade, and that's how it looks. I don't know if I have anything comparable with this shade. I might. Let me see. So I want to compare it with compare that peach shade with the Bloom shade from the Sultry palette. This Bloom shade, and definitely it's much more richer. This one's just very Barbie peach. I'm loving it. It's so pretty. From the Norvina palette, I'm going to take this Volatile shade. Yeah, I think they're very similar. I'll just swatch it one more time. So the Bowie shade, and see, this is how there's a subtle difference. This one's more warmer and this one's more gray, cool toned. Yeah, that's the difference. Okay, so these were all the mattes. Now I'm going to go into the metallics. So the first one I want to take is this light metallic shade, and it's called Boli. That's how this looks. And it's a shimmery kind of silvery shade. And just to see how it compares with the Jackie palette, so this shade right here, so this one's more kind of silver and this one's more golden, so that's kind of the difference. And I'll just put this gold shade on the side somewhere. So yeah, that's the difference. Next, I want to try this shade. It's called Mandala, and this is the shade that attracted me to this palette. Actually, this and even the other pressed pigment purple shade. So Mandala looks like this, and Swatches like this. Ooh, I love it. Wow. I think this is one of my favorite shades from this palette. And I know that there's a similar shade in the Huda Beauty. I forget the name and I'll put the picture of that eyeshadow palette. I swatched this one with and compared it with the Huda Beauty one. I don't have that palette, but this shade is exactly or maybe 98% similar to that shade. So I mean, if you're buying this eyeshadow palette for this color and you already have that palette, you probably don't need this palette, just FYI. Next, I'm going to take this Libra shade, and oh, I love this. This color is so pretty. It's such a nice grayish silvery shade. I feel like it's very wearable as well. So that's how it looks. And I want to compare it with the Jackie Aina palette. Jackie Aina palette has this shade and it's called Lituation, and this is how these compare. So this one's much more deeper. Again, this is a gorgeous shade. I really like it. And even this one is like silvery. So both are really nice. There's a subtle difference. One's lighter and one's deeper. Next, I'm going to take this shade here, right here. It's a bluish silvery gray and it's called Jode, Jode. And this is how it looks. It's such a I love these shades. Ooh, look at that. And I don't think I have anything like this. No, I don't. I checked. I don't have anything like this. This is such a wonderful gray. I love it. Next, because this looks similar to this one, I'm going to be swatching the OA shade. And boy, does this look similar. Let's see. So these look pretty much the same. The difference is this OA shade has specks of glitter. If you can see, I need to learn how to swatch like a pro. But you see those specks of glitter. So I really like it. Even though they're very similar, I still love the fact that there is a similar shade with glitter. Ooh. One more time. See that glitter? I can't wait to try it on my eyes. Next, I'm going to try this Aura shade, and this is this pink shade. I mean, I haven't really tried it all this while, so yeah, you're hearing all these oohs and ahs. And this is how it swatches. It's this very nice pink, rosy pink. Wow. So I want to compare it with the Norvina palette, and I think it looks like the rose gold. I don't know, it probably doesn't, if you can tell the difference, but I'll swatch it. So this is the rose gold one, and this is kind of how it looks. And the pink one definitely is very different. So that's how they compare. This one's more deeper from the Norvina palette. Next, I want to try this Mou shade. Yeah. So this is this very golden shade. And just to show you the difference between the two, I want to take this shade, and it's called My Angels. One's a very greenish bronzy gold and the other one is just this clean gold, light gold sort of color. So this one's the lighter one and this one's the greenish deeper gold. They're really nice. I mean, and they're very creamy and smooth, and see that? So yeah, these are all the metallics from the Bybel palette. Now let's apply them on the eye. So before I apply these eyeshadows, I just want to call out that this palette has, each pan has around 0.75 grams of product. And I was looking at the Jackie Anna palette and that has 0.7. So there's a difference of 0.05 grams per pan in terms of quantity. I don't know why that is, but that's something that's different. Both are priced at $45. And yeah, so I don't know why the difference is, but that's how it is. So I want to swatch the eyes with these metallic shades, but I also want to try out the matte shades just to see how they look as transition shades. So I'm going to try to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this peach shade and show you guys. And when I use my blending brush, I see there's a lot of kickback. So immediately, even though I just barely touched it, so there's a lot of fallout on the palette. Let's see how it applies. So this is this light shade and it's called Cindy, and I'm gonna go in. I really like the shade though, it's really nice and it applies pretty easily. Next, I want to take this Bybel shade and apply it as a transition, so on the other eye, and show you. So I'm sure these shades will look different on each skin shade. So if you are someone like me, this is how it looks. And honestly, it looks the same as it does in the palette. I don't see any difference. It doesn't look too, dark. Sometimes these shades look light on the palette, but when you apply them, they start looking darker. But I don't see that happening for this one. And this one did not have that much fallout or kickback. The Cindy shade definitely had even though I used the same brush. So I'm going to start with the simple one. I'm going to take Moo here and I'm just going to straight away go with my finger. Recently, I have started to believe that just these pressed pigment sort of shades just apply better with fingers. So let's do that. And as you can see, the payback or the payoff is really good. Smoothen it out. Ooh, look at that shine. Wow, I really like it. Wow. On the other eye, I want to take this mandala shade. I can't wait any longer, so I just want to apply this quickly. Wow, it's such a cute shade. It's not that sparkly. I think there's a similar shade in the Tom Ford quads, and that one is really sparkly. This one's more mellow and this one's more like the Huda Beauty one. Maybe the Huda Beauty one is a little more shiny than this one, maybe, but even this is quite sparkly. It's got some gaps, I have to say. It's not like full thick pigment. There I can still see my skin a little bit, so I feel like this would be a nice not topper. I mean, it's not as sheer as a topper, but if you apply some shade, matte purpley shade, and apply this on top, I think it'll look even nicer. Even without it, it looks nice, but I feel like it will look better because I still see some skin here or there, which you can avoid if you apply it with some base. So, but I still feel it's a nice, pretty shade though. What do you think? Next, I'm going to take this chai shade as the transition shade. And again, as you can see, as soon as I dipped in, there was a bit of kickback, like the Cindy shades. I guess these two formulas are probably same, and that is why both of them have some kickback. It doesn't show up too much on my skin. It's probably almost the same shade as my skin tone, so it doesn't show up. I'm just applying it as much as I can, and what you see here is probably some makeup cleaner, so it's showing up textured. I think I'm gonna take this dark shade right here, go very mildly and try to show you guys how it looks as a transition shade. And I went in with a very light hand, and I do see again some kickback, so you have to be careful. Yeah, this one shows up better. It's a little patchy, but again, maybe it's because I just wiped off my eye with some cleaner. Let me change my brush and see. Okay, it's working fine now. So this one's Libra, and again I'll just go with my finger. Oh, I love this metallic shade. Wow, it is amazing. Love this shade. Just smoke it out with some black eyeshadow, which this palette doesn't have, but still. And you are golden. Oh, in this case, you're silver. Love it. And for the other eye, I'm going to go with My Angels. And this is pressed pigment, I think. So it's chunky. And I do see I had a bit of fallout, so I probably took a lot of product on my finger, so it just goes slow. But it's a wonderful shade, I have to say. It's beautiful. Now, if you're curious how they compare with Natasha Denona, obviously Natasha Denona is better, but it is super expensive. This is more value for money, and these are really good as well. I mean, I feel like you can't compare the two, honestly, because the price and everything is different. So, but for this price range, I just feel like this is such a nice golden. It's got glitter in it, and it's got this greenish gold, which I think is so popular. I think it's the gold of the season, so I really like it. And of course, I went with my finger. If you're using your brush and you go slow, you can apply it nicely. In the interest of swatching, I think I over applied it, but I still think it looks really nice. Next, I'm going to apply these two shades. I want to see how different they look on the eye or how similar they look on the eye. So I'm going to take this Jode shade on this eye. And it's such a nice blue-gray. Oh, wow. So that's how Jode looks. Let's look at OA. Ooh, look at that shine. The shimmer is amazing. And oh wow, that glitter. Oh, amazing. But you have to be careful. Whenever there's glitter involved, there will be fallout. So just be really careful when you're applying these, the ones with the glitter. So you know they look similar. I feel like this will help you elevate this, or you could just use this straight away and you will have that glitter. That's interesting. Why this shade and this shade both in the same palette? I've never seen that happen before, at least not that I can think of. but I really like this glittery shade, and it reminds me of the Marc Jacobs Stiletto. I wish I had that palette. I have been wanting to buy that palette, but the only shade I want from that palette is that glitter. The rest of the shades are just of no use to me, and that's why I've been always thinking, what should I spend $49 on that palette, and I end up not buying it every time. But I think I won't need to after this palette, because I think this is really similar to that shade. If you guys have that, let me know if you think this is similar or same, and I will feel so good, because I didn't find that palette in my local Sephora, and so I couldn't compare. So I don't know. I've seen the swatches. I swatched it once last year when it was available in another Sephora, so now I don't know, but I think it looks really similar. I'm obsessed with this shade. It's really, really nice. So the last two ones that I want to do is this, and I'm going to be doing an eye look with this. So that's why I saved this one for the last. And what I'm going to do is I'll first create some transition with the chai shade and then apply the red shade. So let's do that. And accidentally I took Cindy, so oh well, we'll do it with Cindy. That's fine. I think it'll look great with Cindy. In fact, taking another blending brush and going into Steve, whatever. There's that, and very slowly, because I think it's really pigmented. Wow, I like it. I really like it. With this Cindy shade, I love it. Just pull it out a little bit. Next, I'm going to take this Aura shade, and I think I'm going to start with a brush, because I'm trying to do an eye look and see how it applies with the brush, and then maybe use my finger. And I suspect this will apply better with a finger because it's a pressed pigment, but I want to still show you how it applies with a brush. And as you can see, there are gaps. It doesn't apply as smoothly as it would with a finger. So this is how it looks. Yes, much better. I want to call out something here. Even though these are great eyeshadows, I feel like they are textured, but they shine really well and they look really great. But if you're expecting them to be too metallic, like for example, this shade right here, the Libra shade, or the Jode shade, or this one, well, this one's sheer, but these two, like these are nicely pigmented and you won't see any gaps. But these pressed pigments, they are like chunky, so, but not too chunky, but they are chunky. Also, like the OA shade, this one's also got a lot of glitter in it. It's got this nice chunky glitter, but it's not like big chunks of glitter, so I like the glitter in this. Going into this dark shade right here, Bowie, and just deepening it out. So I think it just applies fine when I have Cindy underneath, but as you saw previously, when I just applied it on its own, it looked a little weird. One more time. Next, I'm just taking this Steve shade and apply it at the bottom eyelid. And then I'm tempted to apply this Moo shade right here. I know I'm just mixing up shades, but I want to show you how it looks. So look at that shine. Oh my god, it's amazing. Wow. I think it's a lot. I think I should mellow it down a little bit. I'll just apply this My Angels shade. Maybe it brings it down. You see that difference? Now it's more, I think it's lighter. Alright, so this is the final look with the falsy magic. So I really like this look. I really like this eyeshadow. It's super glittery and really nice, very holiday-like. And it did have fallout, but then this is a glitter eyeshadow. Most glitter eyeshadows do have fallout, so I'm not surprised. But that fallout is not for all eyeshadows. I just want to point that out. It's only for these three and possibly more for these two. Well, yeah, maybe this one as well. So these three, because they are pressed pigment and very glittery, like they have specks of glitter, that's the reason why this would have fallout on the face. So when you're applying with your fingers, so you have to be really careful. And I don't see a downside, because even if this fallout was there, it'll just add shine to the face. But again, I'm not into that kind of glitter on my face, so that's why I wouldn't prefer it. So I should just be careful. But I just want to call out that the fallout is not for all, only these three. And that too, minimal. If you're careful, you'll be fine. So I just, yeah, because I really like this eyeshadow. And I also like it because of the story. I haven't seen this kind of shade selection in any eyeshadow palette, and I love the fact that it is with a white base. So I'm loving the vibe. It's got this very girly, unicornish sort of vibe, which I really like. And it's very surprising that this is introduced during the fall season. I wouldn't expect this eyeshadow in the fall season, but doesn't matter. I really like it. The shades applied just like all the Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes are not the subculture palette, but the other ones, the good ones. And I'm really happy with this. And it's priced at $45, which is again standard. And I don't mind that price. You get good amount of eyeshadows, and they're all very wearable. Like, I'm into wearable looks, so eyeshadow palettes which have too much of like deep you know, those dark matte shades, greens and fluorescent rainbow shades. I'm not into that kind of eyeshadows too much, just a little bit, maybe sometimes. So I feel like this is really wearable, and I relate with it. So I'm really liking this palette, and I think you must try it. And if you do not have any eyeshadow palettes from Anastasia Beverly Hills, this is definitely a good one. I also like the Jackie Hill palette, and did I say Jackie Hill? Jackie Anna. That's Jacqueline Hill. I really like the Jackie Anna palette. I will do a review on that as well. I think that's, yeah, I really like that palette. So I'll do a review on that one. But even this one is really, really nice. So do check it out and let me know what you thought of this palette. And let me know how you like this video. And also, if you'd like to see more eye looks with this palette, I would love to do that. I'm anyways going to be playing with this eyeshadow palette because I'm just curious what all looks I can create. So if you'd like to see that, I will definitely share it with you guys. And do subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for more reviews and more tutorials and more looks and more jibber jabber from my side. But until the next time we meet, bye! Hi guys. I know I've ended the video, but this is just extra footage. So after I'd ended the filming, I tried applying this OA shade on top of the pink shade, and this is how it looks. I just thought it looks so good that I wanted to share it with you guys immediately. So I just thought I'll quickly share that as extra footage. So this is how it looks. I feel like this is such a interesting eye look with some pink and some OA shade with some sparkle. It's just beautiful. Anyway, see you next time.